Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to talk about the conference that Joan Laporta did have, because within that conference, Joan Laporta was explaining and going into further detail on what the summer of Barcelona is going to look like. And so yet again, Joan Laporta has spoken about the 2021-2022 season's squad. But first, I do want to talk about the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app has always been considered as the best football app you could find in the App Store when it comes to the latest transfer news, the latest player stats, what's currently going on in your club team or your national team. The OneFootball app will be there to update you immediately within the app. So the only thing that you do have to do is go down in the description box. You will be able to find the link that will take you straight to the App Store. You would be able to download the OneFootball app. After that, you can pick your desired team, whether it's a national team or a club team, turn on the push notifications, and then you will be all set from there. But now let's get back into the video. And I think that right now there are many Barcelona fans, there are many people within the club that are very eager to change this squad and give Ronald Koeman the best squad possible. Because look, after signing players such as Sergio Aguero, Memphis Depay, Eric Garcia, Emerson, Joan Laporta is telling to the media and to the press that Barcelona is not done. Barcelona still want to sign further signings. And so it says here, Joan Laporta has said, and I quote, "There will be 3 or 4 more signings and we are creating a very competitive team. We're already seeing it with the arrivals of Eric Garcia, Sergio Aguero, Emerson, and as well as other players who are ready to compete for this Barcelona badge." So Joan Laporta has made it very clear that Barcelona are going to be having another 3 to 4 signings. And in these past couple of weeks, we were really thinking that, okay, finally, we have signed the 4 free transfers, Emerson only costing 9 million. We have signed 4 players that cost a total of 9 million euros. This is great business coming from Joan Laporta. Now, the only thing that we are missing is for Barcelona to make one more strong signing that is probably going to require a transfer fee that Barcelona is going to have to pay. But that is not the case. Barcelona, Joan Laporta, Matteo Alemany have made it very clear that they do want to sign a further 3 to 4 players. So now the biggest question is going to be this: who are going to be those next few players? And that is the conversation that we are going to be having for the rest of this video. I'm going to go based off the factual and real life evidence that we have been hearing coming from Barcelona itself, because I'm not here to talk about any fantasy signings. I'm not here to talk about that Kylian Mbappe and Haaland are going to be the next 2 signings that Barcelona is going to be making. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to go based off the real life factual evidence that we have heard coming straight from the club. So 1 to 2 weeks ago, we have actually heard Joan Laporta favoriting swap deals, that this is going to be Barcelona's game plan. If Barcelona do plan on making further signings, it would be swap deals. We have talked about this in previous videos. So because of this, right, because Barcelona is going to go with the idea of having swap deals being made in the summer, let's really pay attention towards which clubs would be willing to trade, because there are many clubs out there in Europe that we are going to be talking about that are very interested in our own players. So here's the thing: I do assume that Barcelona are interested in getting a central defensive midfielder, a center back, and most likely probably a goalkeeper. Many are saying that Barcelona could be signing a striker, 2 central defensive midfielders, maybe a center back, but I'm really going to lean towards Barcelona bringing in a central defensive midfielder, a center back, and probably a goalkeeper. But let's move on towards the first club that Barcelona could be negotiating with, possibly, and that is going to be AC Milan. Barcelona are in negotiations with AC Milan in terms of finding a completion on the deal with Junior Firpo. Junior Firpo is looking like he will be moving away from FC Barcelona and going to AC Milan. So as of now, nothing is closed yet, but there is a possibility that Firpo could be moving to AC Milan for a total of 23 million euros, and this is with variables being added. And so because Barcelona is going to be negotiating with AC Milan, one of the players that has interested FC Barcelona throughout the years has been a player named Sandro Tonali. This is a player that we have talked about before, and I'm talking about this is a player that Barcelona were interested in about 1 to 2 years ago. And I talked about this in my YouTube videos. It was probably one of my first few videos that I have put out on this YouTube channel. But yes, it is true that Barcelona were once interested in this player. But at that time, Tonali did choose to move to AC Milan instead of FC Barcelona. So this is a defensive midfielder. Again, we have been linked with this player before. When it comes to Tonali, bringing in his defensive attributes and his defensive game, he does very well at doing that. You can see that Tonali is always on the opposition, making sure that he does not progress with the ball. He does like to regain possession very quickly. He's very intense, and best of all, he's a very young player that maybe potentially Barcelona could still build upon. Moving on towards the next club, and we are going to be talking about Juventus. this is a club where we are destined to negotiate with in this coming summer. And you guys know exactly where I'm going to be going with this conversation, because there's just so much that we can do when it comes to Barcelona negotiating with Juventus. There are players that Juventus does want from FC Barcelona, and there are players that FC Barcelona wants from Juventus. So the fact that Juventus could be interested in players such as Antoine Griezmann, Philippe Coutinho, or maybe even Dembélé, that is a very big possibility. So if Juventus does ask for one of these players, which we know will happen in a couple of weeks, one of the players that Barcelona could be looking towards to could be a player named De Ligt. That is the ultimate option. That would be the ultimate transfer that Barcelona and Laporta could make in the summer. If this does happen, if De Ligt becomes a Barcelona player in the summer, then this will be the beginning of a new era for our defensive line. To have players such as Araujo, Mingueza, Eric Garcia, and De Ligt as our defensive options, it would be a wonderful thing to see. So out of all three players, which is either Antoine Griezmann, Philippe Coutinho, or Dembélé, I do see Juventus asking for a player like Dembélé. And so a swap deal between Dembélé and De Ligt, it is a possibility. I think that with this, it would free up the front line, because our front line is very congested with many attackers. It would reinforce our defensive line greatly. And I know that I have talked about Barcelona needing to sign a left-footed center back, which I do think Barcelona should, but De Ligt would be the only exception. If De Ligt can come to Barcelona and that would be considered as our last center back that will be signed in the summer, I am completely okay with that. I do think that a back four of Serginho Dest on the right, Araujo and De Ligt as our center backs, and Jordi Alba as our left back would bring Barcelona to a much higher level. And another player that could be negotiated within this deal, it could also be Pjanic, because right now Pjanic is looking for a way out also. And I do believe that with Pjanic wanting to work with Allegri again at Juventus, it is just so destined for Barcelona to negotiate with Juventus. They are going to be encountering with that club. So this would be considered as the second swap deal that Barcelona could be making. Moving on towards the third one, and we are going to move towards England, which is going to be Manchester United. So let's just assume, right, that the deal between Dembélé and Juventus never works out, that De Ligt never comes to Barcelona, and maybe AC Milan says, no, you're not going to have Tonali because he is on loan, he is not our player, and we do still want to continue to work with him for the next few years. Let's just say that does happen, right? This is the big reason why I do think that Barcelona could be negotiating with Manchester United. Manchester United right now are in a saga, a very dark and long saga when it comes to Jadon Sancho, because Manchester United do want a player like Jadon Sancho, who is from Borussia Dortmund. Last summer, Manchester United and Dortmund were greatly negotiating constantly for a player like Sancho, but the deal could not go through because Man U could not meet the demands of whatever Borussia Dortmund was asking for. So the club and the fans are very eager on bringing in a winger at Manchester United. They believe that this is what's going to unlock Man U to become one of the best teams in Europe. And let's just say that Man U do not go through the deal with Borussia Dortmund, that Manchester United cannot meet the demands of Borussia Dortmund, because Borussia Dortmund are asking around 115 million euros, while Man U can only bring about 90 million euros at this very moment, and especially because of COVID. Let's just say something like that does happen and the deal never happens. I do strongly believe that Man U are going to be moving on towards Dembélé, because last summer United were linked with this player. Because United were informed that they were going to have their bid rejected by Borussia Dortmund, they actually did move on towards Dembélé, but Dembélé did not want to move away. Barcelona were very hesitant on letting this player go in that summer. And so for those of you guys who do not know, yes, it is true that Dembélé was very close on joining Manchester United. Barcelona and United did believe that this could probably be a good deal, but Dembélé himself says, no, I'm going to be staying and continuing with FC Barcelona. Now, the reason why I do want to give everyone this backstory, it is because if Barcelona do tend on looking for swap deals, who is that one player that Man U have that Barcelona greatly do admire, and actually have been admiring this player since 2014, and that is Paul Pogba. If Barcelona see the chance that they could present Dembélé to Manchester United for Paul Pogba, I do see this as a great possibility, because let me tell you, the salary demands between Pogba and Dembélé, it is the exact same, and you better bet that with Mino Raiola, Barcelona and Pogba and Raiola could negotiate a lower wage in order to give Barcelona more breathing room. And one thing that I do find very interesting about this potential deal is the fact that right now Paul Pogba's contract with Man U does end in the summer of 2022, and Pogba does not tend on renewing his contract with this club. And let me tell you, United do not want to let him go for free in the next summer. They do want to sell him, and if they they do want to sell him, it would have to be in this coming summer. And there has been many sources claiming that Pogba does want to run down his contract with Man U, but United do not want to do that. So there is a possibility that if Dembele were to be presented towards Manchester United, one of the players that Barcelona could be working with and making a swap deal with would be Paul Pogba. And then the last club, it is going to be Man City. I'm not going to go too into further detail because we have talked about this topic before. City are on a clear out. One potential swap deal that we could see could be between Sergio Roberto and Laporte, but I do find it very hard for this to come into a full completion because of the transfer value. Laporte is actually worth way more than Sergio Roberto, so there is a possibility that Barcelona may have to pay the difference in this transfer. And aside from that, we also do have players such as Lisandro Martinez and Pau Torres, which I do not think that Barcelona have a player that they are willing to swap with, because I just don't see any player from Barcelona wanting to go to either Ajax or Villarreal. But those are going to be the final swap deals that we could see in the summer. Again, this is just me speculating. I have no idea what Barcelona do have in mind. Again, I'm just going based off what Joan Laporta did say a couple of weeks ago, saying that the way that we are going to be moving is going to be through swap deals. That is it. Everything that I have said here is nothing factual. It's just what could happen. What are the possibilities? But that's going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona daily news. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.